tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to make a revision on chapter 3, miscellaneous chapter. In Pali we call Pakiṇṇakaparicchedo. As you remember, we have 6 sections in this chapter: Vedana, Hetu, Kicca, Dvara, Arammana, and Vattu. Vedana, feeling; Hetu, roots; Kicca, functions; Dvara, doors; Arammana, object; Vattu, basis. Today we are going to make a review, not the long discussion. Just we will try to review what we have learned in this chapter, especially regarding 4 sections, because in first 2 chapters we have already learned about feeling and roots. Here just we pay attention, we make a glance on remaining sections: functions, doors, bases, and objects. Not in detail, but in summary. As we discussed, I think you can remember 14 functions. Let's review again. Patisandhi, Bhavanga,
Recording in
life-continuum
progress.
consciousness. There are also Patisandhi, Bhavanga, Chuti, Chittas are same. 19, consciousness. Then Avajjana. There are 2 types of Avajjana. The mind stream that advert or turn into the object. There are 2, Panchadvara Vajjana and Manodvara Vajjana. Then Dassana. The Dassana, Savana, Gahayana, Sayana, Pusana. These 5 are related with 5 sense doors. Seeing consciousness, that's seeing function. Hearing function by 2 Sota Vijñāna. Then smelling function by 2 Ghana Vijñāna. Then tasting function by 2 Jiva Vijñāna. Touching function by 2 Kaya Vijñāna. After that, please try to remember that simile. We have discussed several times about simile of mango. So please review that simile according to that simile. So sampatichana, like receiving mango. So there are 2 sampatichana chittas that perform sampatichana function or receiving function. How many chittas for investigating function? There are 3 chittas for investigating function, santirana. How many santirana? There are 3 santirana chittas, 2 pekha and 1 somanassa. Then again we get determined consciousness, determining function done by only Manodvara Vajjana Chitta. Later on we will classify again the chittas with 1 function, 2 function, 3, 4 and 5. So here you can see this Manodvara Vajana again. Then Javana function, there are 55. Then registration function or Tadārammana function, 11 consciousness. What are them? 8 Mahavipaka and 3 Santirana. So here you get Santirana again. Then death function or Chuti function, there are 19, same as Patisandhi, Bhavanga and Chuti. There is something happen with the let me check again. There is something happen with PowerPoint. I think you can't see the slides. Let's wait a few minutes. I think something happened with. I think you can't see the screen, although I share the screen. I think now you can see the screen. Okay. So we have learned 14 functions. Among them, what is Patisandhi? Just make a review. At the moment of the conception, when rebirth arises, at that time we called Patisandhi Chitta arises. Patisandhi means connecting to lives. Pati means actually again. Sandhi means connect. That's why we call rebirth consciousness. So how many Patisandhi Chittas? There are altogether 19. Mahavipaka, 8. Rupavachara Vipaka, 5. Arupavachara Vipaka, 4. And Ahetuka Vipaka, how many? 2. They are Upekha Santirana, two investigating consciousness. I repeat again, there are 19 Patisandhi Chittas, 8 Mahavipaka, 5 Rupa Vipaka, 4 Arupa Vipaka, and 2 Upekha Santirana. Those Chittas perform Patisandhi, Bhavanga, and Chuti. So same Bhavanga and Chuti. So we have already discussed. Then Javana function. How many Javana Chittas? There are 55 Javana Chittas. Javana means those Chittas have double strength or power. Those each and every Chitta, each and every Chittas has the same lifespan, rising, passing away. But these Chittas are different. These Chittas have more and more power or strength. They also have the same lifespan, but Javana means they have more and more strength. That's why we call them as Javana. They are more stronger than other Chittas. So how many? There are 55 Javana Chittas. Kusala 12, Hastuppada 1, that Chitta rise in Arahants when they are smiling. Then Mahakusala 8, Mahakiriya 8, Rupavachara Kusala 5, Rupavachara Kiriya 5, Arupavachara Kusala 4, Arupavachara Kiriya 4, Lokuttara 8. I'll repeat. 12 Kusala Chittas, 1 Hasituppada, 8 Mahakusala, 8 Mahakiriya, Rupavachara Kusala 5, Rupavachara Kiriya 5, Arupavachara Kusala 4, Arupavachara Kiriya 4, Lokuttara 8. Altogether, there are 55 Javana Chittas. Then Tadarammana. How many Tadarammana Chittas? There are 11 Tadarammana Chittas. We call registration function. I think you can remember it's compared with the water flowing behind the boat. There are Mahavipaka 8 and Santirana 3. How many Santirana? There are 2 Upekha and 1 Somanassa. Altogether 3 Santirana. So how many Tadarammana Chittas? There are 11 Tadarammana Chittas. 8 Mahavipaka and 3 Santirana. Then let's classify those Chittas with regards to functions. There are 2 Chittas, Upekha Santirana Chitta, have 5 functions. What are them? Upekha Santirana Chittas have 5 functions. Patisandhi, Bhavanga, Chuti, then Santirana and Tadarammana. Then there are 8 Chittas that perform 4 functions. What are them? What are those Chittas? Mahavipaka Chittas. Mahavipaka Chittas perform 4 functions. Patisandhi, Bhavanga, Chuti and Tadarammana. Then There are 9 chittas which perform 3 functions. Rupavachara Vipaka 5 and Arupavachara Vipaka 4. Those 9 chittas perform 3 functions. What are them? Patisandhi, Bhavanga and Chuti. Then there are 2 chittas that perform 2 functions. Manodvara Vajjana and Somanasa Santirana. They have separate functions. What are them? Manodvara Vajjana, Avajjana function and Vattabhana function. Somanasa Santirana, Santirana function and Tadarammana function. Then there are 68 chittas which perform only one function. What are them? 55 Javana chittas perform only Javana function. Then among the Panchaviññāna, eye consciousness, seeing function. Ear consciousness, listening or hearing. Nose consciousness, smelling. Tongue consciousness, tasting. Body consciousness, touching. Then Panchadvara Avajjana, only adverting consciousness or Avajjana. To Sampatichana chittas perform only receiving function or Sampatichana. So those are the classification of the chittas based on their functions, number of functions. We have already learned, just this lesson is for the revision. Then let's move into the doors. There are 6 doors. What are them? Eye door, ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door and mind door. Ultimately, eye door means eye sensitivity, not the whole eyeball. So there are the sensitivity part we have already discussed. That may be the retina, almost close to the retina. So eye door is called as eye sensitivity is called eye door. Then ear sensitivity, ear door. Nose sensitivity, nose door. Tongue sensitivity, tongue door. Then body sensitivity, that's all over the body except the tip of the hairs and tip of the nails and dry skin. We can see, we can find body door or body sensitivity inside and outside of the body except those places. Then mind door is called as Bhavanga. In Pali, it's mentioned as Manodvarampana Bhavanganti Pauchyati. So there are 6 doors. Let's try to find out the chittas that arise through these doors. Again, we have to remind cognitive process when we are learning this one. So when we learn chittas arise through eye door, we have to substitute only ear door, nose door, tongue door, body door and body door for those specific or relevant to consciousness. Please remind the thought process. According to thought process, first Bhavanga chitta arises, then it shakes and it stops. After that, 5 sense door adverting consciousness arises when we are seeing the object, Panchadvara Vajjana. After that, eye consciousness arises by seeing the object, visible object. Then receiving consciousness, so Sampatichana chitta arise performing Sampatichana or receiving function. After that, one of the Santirana chittas arise performing investigating function. Then Vattabhana chitta arises performing determined consciousness. Then one of the Kamavachara Javanas arises performing Javana function. If we attach to the visible object, Lobha chitta arises. If you get angry with that visible object, Dosa Mula chitta arises. If you make wholesome action, such as offering flowers, offering food, at that time, Mahakusala chitta arises. For Arahants, Mahakiriya Chitta. When Arahants smile, Asitupada Chitta arises. So those are the possibilities of arising Kamavachara Javana. After that, Tadarammana Chitta arises. One of the Tadarammana Chittas. Now let's try to find out how many Chittas arise in Ido. Panchadvara Vajjana 1, I consciousness 2, receiving consciousness 2, then investigating consciousness 3, determining consciousness 1, Kama Javana 29. Then we have to pay attention for Tadarammana again. Tadarammana, there are 2 sections in Tadarammana, 3 investigating and 8 Mahavipaka. So we have already taken 3 investigating consciousness in investigating function. Here, so we have to add only 8 Mahavipaka. Altogether, there are 46 Chittas arise through Ido. This is an easy method to find out the Chittas that arise in 5 sense doors. First, we have to take the 54 Kamavachara Chittas, then exclude the Panchaviññāna. Then 44 Kamavachara Chittas remain. If we are going to find the Chittas that arise in Ido, so we have to add 2 Chakkuviññāna. If it's Ear-do, we have to add ear consciousness. If it's nose-do, we have to add 2 nose consciousness. If it's tongue-do, we have to add 2 tongue consciousness. If it's body-do, we have to add 2 body consciousness. Similarly, we get 46 Chittas. This is the easiest way to find out the Chittas that arise through 5 sense doors. Now let's try to review again. Chittas that arise through mind door. First, Manodvara, we start from the Manodvara Vajjana. Then, whatever Javana Chitta may arise in Manodvara, either Kama Javana or Appana Javana. Now we have already learned 29 Kama Javanas. How many Appana Javanas? There are 26 Appana Javanas. Rupavachara Kusala 5, Rupavachara Kiriya 5, Arupavachara Kusala 4, Arupavachara Kiriya 4, Lokuttara 8. Altogether 26 Appana Javanas. Also Tadarammana or registration consciousness 11. So here Manodvara Vajjana 1, then Javana consciousness 55, Tadarammana consciousness 11. Altogether there are 67 Chittas that arise through mind door. It's not difficult, but now we are trying to find out the Chittas, classify the Chittas that arise through 1 door, 2 door, 3 door, 1 door, 5 door, and 6 doors. 1 door consciousness is not so difficult. Eye consciousness arises only through eye door. 2 ear consciousness arises only through ear door. 2 nose consciousness arises through only nose door. 2 tongue consciousness arises only through tongue door. 2 body consciousness arises through only body door. Then 26 Appara Javanas, Rupavachara, Arupavachara, and Lokuttara Chittas. Those Kusala, Rupavachara Kusala Kiriya, Arupavachara Kusala Kiriya, and Lokuttara Chittas. Those 26 Chittas arise through mind only. So how many Chittas arise? Only 1 door. There are 36. 26 Appana Javanas and 10 the Panchaviññāna. Then 5 door consciousness. There are only 3 that arise through 5 doors. Panchadvara Vajjana and 2 Sampatichana. 5 sense door adverting consciousness and receiving consciousness. There are only 3 chittas which arise through 5 doors. They are Panchadvara Vajjana and 2 Sampatichana chittas. Then 6 door consciousness. Somanassa Santirana and Vattabhana and Kamajavana. How many? There are 29. Somanassa Santirana, investigating consciousness accompanied by joy. Then Vattabhana or Manodvara Vajjana, determined consciousness. Then Kamajavana, 29. These chittas arise through 6 doors. Therefore, we have to memorize that the chittas arise through 1 door, 5 door and 6 doors. Then let's try to find the chittas that are free from doors. So door-free chittas can be classified into 2 sections. Sometimes 6 door and sometimes door-free and always door-free. Always door-free means those chittas perform only Patisandhi, Bhavanga and Chuti. So please pay attention for the functions again. 5 Rupavachara Vipaka and 4 Arupavachara Vipaka perform only Patisandhi, Bhavanga and Chuti. So these chittas always door-free. Then what are the chittas that sometimes door-free and sometimes arise through 6 doors? When Kamavachara Vipaka and Upekha Santirana chittas perform Patisandhi Bhavanga Chuti. Especially here we take the Bhavanga function, because we call that Bhavanga chitta is Panodvara Vajjana. When they perform Bhavanga function, they are door-free. But they have another functions other than Patisandhi Bhavanga Chuti. What are them? Kamavachara Vipaka chittas have also Tadarammana function. When Kamavachara Vipaka chittas perform Tadarammana function, they arise through 6 doors. And also Rupekha Santirana chittas have some functions other than Patisandhi Bhavanga Chuti. What are them? Santirana and Tadarammana. When Upekha Santirana chittas perform either Santirana function or Tadarammana function, they may arise through 6 doors. Therefore, we call them 8 Mahavipaka and 2 Upekha Santirana chittas, sometimes door-free, sometimes arise through 6 doors. This is what should we memorize to go through in this section regarding doors. Here 3 sections, so we have to pay attention in the bases. We have to pay attention for 3 sections in bases. What are them? Chittas that always depend on bases. Then chittas that sometimes depend on bases. Then chittas that never depend on bases. Here you can see the numbers. Okay, let's try to find out the numbers. So there are 6 bases as we learned. What are those 6 bases? Eye base, ear base, nose base, tongue base, body base and heart base. 2 eye consciousness arise based on eye base. 2 ear consciousness arise based on ear base. 2 nose consciousness arise based on nose base. 2 tongue consciousness arise based on tongue base. 2 body consciousness arise based on body base. Then heart base. We have to classify the chittas that arise based on heart base based on always and sometimes. Here we pay attention, we classify based on Arupavachara realm, because the chittas that arise in Arupavachara realm do not have a base. The chittas that arise in Kamavachara realm and Rupavachara realm except Arupavachara realm. So, when they arise in these realms, they always arise based on heart base because they have heart base in Kamavachara realm, Rupavachara realm. Here, the chittas that always based on heart base means that chittas never rise in Arupavachara realm. Okay, let's try to find those chittas. Manodhatu. I think you can remember now Manodhatu. How many Manodhatu? There are 3 chittas. Panchadvara Vajjana Chitta and Sampatichana Chittas are called Manodhatu. So these 3 chittas rise always based on heart base. Those chittas do not arise in Arupavachara realm. Then 2 dosamula chittas. Heart base is essential for 2 dosamula chittas. Then 3 santirana chittas always arise based on heart base. 1 hatitupada chitta arise based on heart base. 8 mahavipaka chittas arise based on heart base always. Because when they arise in Kama realm. Then Rupavachara chittas. Rupavachara chittas can arise in Kama realm and Rupavachara realm. Rupavachara chittas never arise in Arupavachara realm because they need some initial object, Rupa object to develop their meditation. Therefore, Rupavachara chittas do not arise in Arupavachara realm. So, those 15 Rupavachara chittas always take the heart base. Then, Sotapatti Magga Chitta. What is the reason for Sotapatti Magga Chitta arise only in Kama realm and Rupa realm? Reason is, except Buddha and Pacceka Buddha, all the Savakas, all the disciples need to listen Dhamma. We call Parato Ghosa in Pali. Buddha and Pacceka Buddha never arise in Arupavachara realm. What are the reasons, what are the conditions to arise Sotapatti Magga Chitta? Especially it's mentioned in the suttas, Yoniso Manasikara and Parato Ghosa. We need wise attention and listening Dhamma from others, except Buddha and Pacceka Buddha. So to attain Sotapatti Magga, we should listen Dhamma. Arupavachara realm, there are no any rupas. They do not have any sensitivities. Therefore, they cannot listen Dhamma. Therefore, in suttas it mentioned as Arupavachara realm is mentioned as unsuitable place to reborn. So, Sotapatti Magga Chitta arise only in Kama realm and Rupa realm because they have ear sensitivity to listen Dhamma. So how many chittas? That always based on heart base, there are 33 chittas. 3 manodhatu, 2 dosamula chittas, 3 santirana, 1 hasitupada, 8 mahavipaka, 15 rupavachara chittas and Sotapatti Magga Chitta. So there are 33 chittas that always based on heart base. Then chittas sometimes arise in Arupavachara realm. That means when they arise in Kamavachara and Rupavachara realm, they depend on heart base. When they arise in Arupavachara realms, they will not depend on heart base. That's the reason. So how many chittas? that sometimes based on heart base, sometimes do not based on heart base. 8 low mula chittas, 2 moha mula chittas, manodwara vajana chitta 1, kamavachara kusala 8, kamavachara kiriya 8, arupavachara kusala 4, arupavachara kiriya 4, then lokuttara chittas except Sotapatti Magga. There are altogether 42 chittas that can arise in arupavachara realm, or in other words, we can say for those 42 chittas arise based on heart base sometimes. Then chittas arise without base. There are 4 arupavachara vipaka chittas arise without base. So these are the sections that I want to review today. So because we have reviewed some other sections previously. For object, just we pay attention for the summary again regarding objects. So pay attention for the objects. So we can summarize into these sections regarding the objects. The chittas that take all the objects, chittas that take the objects except Arahata Magga and Phala, the chittas that takes all the objects except Lokuttara, the chittas that takes only Nibbana, then the chittas that takes only sublime objects, then chittas that takes only concepts, then chittas that takes kamavachara objects. So, what are the chittas that takes all the objects? 4 Jnana Sampayutta, Mahakiriya Chitta, Manodwara Vajjana, and Abhiññā Kiriya Chittas. Those 6 chittas can take all the objects. Then there are 5 chittas that can take all the objects except Arahata Magga and Phala. What are them? They are Jnana Sampayutta Mahakusala and Abhiññā Kusala Chitta. Then what are the chittas that take the objects except Lokuttara? They are 12 Akusala Chitta and 4 Jnana Vippayutta Mahakusala and 4 Jnana Vippayutta Mahakiriya. Altogether there are 20 chittas that take all the objects except Lokuttara. Then 8 Lokuttara chittas can take only Nibbana as their object. Then there are 6 chittas, second and fourth Arupavachara chittas, Viññānañcāyatana and Neva Saññāyatana chittas, Kusala Vipaka Kiriya chittas takes only sublime objects. Then 15 Rupavachara chittas and first and third Arupavachara chittas, Ākāsānañcāyatana and Ākiñcaññāyatana chittas takes only concepts. Then what are the chittas that takes only kamavachara objects? The Panchaviññāna, then Manodhatu and Sri Santirana and Asituppada and 8 Mahavipaka. Those 25 chittas takes only kamavachara objects. This is we should memorize regarding the section of objects. Today we make a revision on chapter 3, Pakiṇṇakaparicchedo. Here we have make a review on 4 sections: function, doors, bases, and objects. So when we go to the next lesson, we need these teachings. We have to memorize, especially functions, objects, doors, and bases. When we are going to learn thought process, or when we are going to learn Patthana, we need this essential knowledge. We need this initial knowledge. So today we have made a short review on chapter 3. Okay, let's conclude our class by sharing merits to Devas and all the beings. Ittavata cammehi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe devang anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cammehi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe bhutang anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ittavata cammehi sambhatam punya sampadam sabbe sattva anumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahittikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciran rakkhantu sambuddha sāsanam. Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahittikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciran rakkhantu sambuddha desanam. Ākāsattha ca bhummattha devānāgā mahittikā puññantaṃ anumoditvā ciran rakkhantu sambuddha sāvake ciran rakkhantu mam param. Buddha sāsanam ciran tiṭṭhatu, Buddha sāsanam ciran tiṭṭhatu, Buddha sāsanam ciran tiṭṭhatu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.